Hello everyone and welcome to the STC Ultimate Ascension 2026 Reborn tournament. I am here commentating our first losers round 2 match, Chris versus Altensee. This is the third time that they've played, longtime competitors in the game. We have a great matchup ready for you guys. Probably the best lineup for Chris to take a win here against Altensee. He's 0-2 against him all time. 2 devastating losses, but I will also admit 2 losses that weren't really the closest. Okay. We might be having a co-commentator join. You gotta invite. No. Chris. Hello, Mal Messiah.
Yo, it's splendid to be here today. We got a big match. I'm finally unretired from commentary after I think a month or two. So it's good to be back in the business.
Oh, for sure.
Exciting match happening today. Very high stakes. All of them have a chance to take the maps.
Yeah.
Each 5 maps could go either way.
Do remember that since these two both kind of had. Both of these were kind of upset in the winner's bracket. So we are in the loser's bracket currently. So whoever loses this is completely eliminated from the tournament. You know, no chances left. Most of the time, if we see a match as high profile as this, it's going to be in the winner's bracket. But not this time. Practice too.
Surprising. I mean, both of them had unexpected results against players that are below them on LF by a significant margin. Like Noah coming off a loss against Veg. However, he's a lot more practiced and focused against Chris. So we should be hopefully seeing a different version of Noah. And Chris coming off of razor-thin wins and losses to RC and Clawchopper. Again, people that are far below his level. However, they can still sneak up on him if he's not careful. And
yeah,
here we are, joined by Veg on commentary. What's up, Veg?
Hello. It looks like we're in Magma. Is this practice or rounds?
Practice too.
Practice 2 on Magma.
But I honestly think Chris's overtime win against Clawchopper was like the best thing that could have happened to him, because Altensee in his last round he faced Jordan, which it's a solid player for sure, but he didn't get too much experience playing against a high level player in losers round 1. So Chris is just coming off, you know, a high level win, whereas Altensee, when it comes to strong matchups, is, you know, still in losing streak.
Since we're on last practice quick predictions, anyone?
I think Magma will be won by Noah, and I think the match will be won by Noah. It's not what I want in my heart, but I do think
I have Noah winning on Magma, Tomb, and Island map, so I'm 60-40 going for Noah for the win just because of those maps.
Yeah.
But Chris might take them. But if Noah messes up on one of those 3 maps, I think that he'll be in deep trouble.
Yeah.
What about you, Zach? What do you think?
I believe that Chris is in serious trouble here. He has barely practiced. Noah has practiced more. Given these factors, it's a very easy prediction to make that this is not Chris's match to win currently.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Noah can fall under pressure, and Chris is very well capable of executing a great performance on any of the maps, in my opinion. However, I will say that he is the most outmatched on Tomb in Island map. Magma is a toss-up, but I still will be Noah on Magma.
I mean, let's not forget, Chris did have the fastest island route in qualifiers. Better than me, better than Noah. So
that is true. I mean, he's capable, but nerfs could affect him.
Round 1.
Okay, here we go. Round 1. First round of the match.
Magma, I think we're going to be looking for, you know, 35 sevens, but I think the biggest thing is just not making a mistake.
Chris told me before in practice that he is worried about this jump right here, which Noah just failed right as I said that. That jump is definitely a sneaky one in tournaments.
Noah, and exit.
Solid time for round 1 ahead of Noah here.
But Noah slowly taking time on.
Oh, they actually might have gained time there.
He's still behind Chris, just by a bit.
Oh, an IGT tie.
Chris is bleeding time slowly for the level. Not a good time. Noah's one big mistake is a better sign of his ability to go faster.
I
was able to compensate for that.
I do
Even though
think
the fight on IGT was behind by quite a bit.
I do think the bridge edge of that Noah actually did there actually might have saved him time.
It probably does have a little
Round
bit of
two
time
here.
save, yeah.
This could be one of our first chances to see just how effectively bridge edge it is. And people have said it's slower, people have said it's faster. But when you see two different strategies going head to head in actual mass and seeing exactly who goes further and backwards, that's when you can get a concise
Yeah.
answer.
Ooh, a big slope steal for Chris.
Oh. Yeah,
Noah's-
Chris did not have a good turn, and he had a monster slope stool right there.
Noah's on a
Just
great
no
run.
No exit from Noah here, but just a great run, as Con said.
Yeah, 35-7.
Definitely not a good look for Chris here on IGT, but he's still in the game on Magma for sure.
Yeah.
Chris definitely wants to avoid those small killers.
Yeah.
Hoping to lock in some 35-7s or 6s like Noah, maybe.
Chris could be making a similar mistake that I made against John, which is taking that big turn a little bit too safe than you think, and losing a little bit more time than you initially would plan to. Because he did say in practice that he was worried about that big turn and failing it, so he definitely has some nerves on this map for sure. Solid start from both. Here's the big turn.
Both will make it.
Ooh, okay, both hit it clean.
I honestly think this turn is where Chris loses the most time.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, much better line from Noah there.
Yeah.
It's not a catastrophic time difference, but still, I mean, I definitely favor Noah's lines. Better bridge too, but Chris is still close to him.
35-7 to 35-8.
Ooh.
Those small gains does not what you want to be seeing as Chris here. You want to be the one making those small gains, driving
Yeah.
further ahead.
If I'm Chris, I'm going all out on these lines here. You know, I think he's worrying a little bit too much about safety. You need to kind of risk it all and go for 0.6s because that's kind of the only chance you have on this map against Noah. I'm sure both of them are getting in leg, so.
Can one of you two be in charge of like posting the runs in general? Question mark.
You got that now.
I was gonna say that Veg should insist on that, but just post out the times.
No, just put the round number. Cause I've been forgetting.
Ooh! Of course, yeah, I'll do that.
Noah was very far ahead, but
Yeah.
mistake puts him back here.
Whoa! Whoa!
Chris
Oh!
needs to
Oh!
get around it.
Oh! No Altensee, huge flick there.
Even with the fail from Altensee, it's still not looking good for Chris. He just can't get those 0.6, 0.7 together.
Yeah. Staying solid, but
No way here.
Noah had to make a big mistake for Chris to even catch up this run.
oh, he takes the DNF after slope sync. Honestly, I think if Noah makes another mistake here, he'll count, you know, the weird 35-8 he got at the start, which will give Chris a chance if Chris can finish out this run nicely.
And we're gonna hope that Chris is getting worse in leg than Noah on commentary.
Mhm.
You know, in the match on touches.
Which I do think it is true. If we just like look at the start, you can see Chris, you know, slightly
yeah.
behind. It is slight though.
It is very slight, but still, it might be very deceiving.
Yeah.
Here we go. I mean, Chris, he really cannot afford the safety in knee lines and lose time over Noah.
Oh, Noah!
Like,
Another mistake.
Another mistake from Noah. Chris needs to play this part right, not let Noah gain any ground.
oh, and he just takes that line. It's not catastrophic though. It's not a bad time loss, but
Oh! Yeah, that might be a DQ. Oh, 35-9, so it probably won't affect his average.
Definitely not taking Magma here.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best map to practice outright. I would have spent more time practicing the skip maps personally.
I mean, it looks like Noah did steal that map, but it was fairly close. But we don't know for certain until we check touches.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Chris has a new strategy to test out on Winter Cove.
Oh, he's trying
Failed
this?
in practice.
I wouldn't try this. I mean, this... Obviously, that's very, very safe, but that is also very slow.
Well, I mean, Chris has been able to pull off 15-second times with it, and
It is not necessarily a horrible play, given that there has not been a single winter code match where people have gotten like a 13 average yet.
yeah, personally, I don't hate it, but I mean, Chris is somewhat consistent at the other faster tree.
My concern is that long arm might affect his consistency unknowingly.
Yeah, Chris in practice before the match did say that he was going to go for this safe strat and hope to get 15-second times in the first 2 rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, depending on how he does, and then go all out in the rest. And personally, I do not hate. I don't hate that strategy.
Yeah, I do think that's a good strategy.
Or fumble code at times.
You know, just knowing the history of this map in tournaments. Just knowing the history of this map in tournaments, times are never going to be as fast as you expect them to be. You know, you can go into a match thinking your opponent's going to get like a 13 average and they walk away with, 16 to 17 seconds, which is obviously solid, but that does mean you can safety quite a bit and still beat that time.
I'm actually much preferring the same strategy from Noah here, using that other tree.
Yeah.
With a consistent visual line to the top. I believe he has Chris beat here on safety.
Yeah,
Noah's looking very good here in practice here, but of course he could still choke that. And again, it's a different game trying to hit those M9s under pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially that house M9. That is a sneaky that has been a sneaky killer in tournaments. A lot of people kind of overlook that.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot you can do to practice it since it has a very little feedback on what you did wrong, so it ends up being a killer in tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd say it's worse to fail that M9 than the tree M9, because the tree M9 you can at least save yourself and hit it again.
Yeah.
Here we go, practice 2.
Let's see if Chris switches his safety strategy, seeing Noah's ideas.
Oh, he does.
But he's not doing it quite the same. He's losing more time.
Noah is executing it better.
Oh, yeah, Noah might get the fastest times here, but honestly, both of them really need consistency.
Chris is really adamant on the safety. I just don't really see why. Noah's safety route seems really, really easy.
I mean, I would practice the other faster routes if I was Chris, because he seems to be fairly consistent at that safety.
He's not even performing the safety amazing yet. I mean, you can see that he's, not applicable that time, but he's bonking and losing quite a bit of time.
And walking off.
Chris has beaten Noah on this map in a 20 before, but we might see a different story here.
Noah
doesn't have the best record of getting up with averages on this map when attempting to get. But Chris doesn't look too good healthy here either. Noah
kind of looks like he maybe flipped the script a little bit on winner. Obviously, like when he was going against Veg, he didn't really look this nice, but he looks really consistent right now. And I'm starting to have some internet issues, so.
And plus, keep in mind, practice isn't always a strong indicator either. In practice, again, Vegeta versus Noah, Vegeta was hitting this skip quite often, but went on to barely scrape out an average around 15 or 16 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you want to get at least sub-skipless times on your finished skip runs on Winter Cove. However, I do think that consistency does edge out, fast times a little bit when it comes to tourneys, just based on what we've observed.
Yeah.
One fast time can go a long way on an average.
Noah's struggling.
Really eating Noah up.
Yeah,
that is surprising.
Okay, round 1.
Round 1, it's not looking too great for either player. They're definitely going to skip all 5 rounds here. I'm concerned to see if they'll be able to hit it enough to get a solid average.
Yeah, let's see if Chris's safe strategy will help him out, and Noah might choke first round.
Starting with a 15 would be great for both of them.
Here we go.
Oh, Noah makes his safety strat though.
Ooh, he hits it.
Oh, Noah misses tree. Chris makes tree.
Chris pulls ahead.
Chris's strat is definitely worse, but he takes round 1 with a sub-skipless by a decent margin. Noah also getting a sub-skipless.
Not the fastest, but when it comes to averages, that's not terrible at all.
At 15 1.2 is a great round one. It's better than most averages on Winter Cove. It's definitely
Yeah,
something you
very
want to be
good.
one of your best read. Definitely.
Yeah, and for Chris's strategy of, you know, taking the first couple rounds with the safety strat, I think 15-2 is, you know, pretty ideal for that scenario.
Very good strategy.
But
Yeah.
Noah's strategy coming into round 2 here is he's consistent with it, and he's about to.
Oh, he missed his tree again. It's the same
Oh,
story.
my goodness.
The same story as round 1.
Like I said, consistency will prevail on this map.
Yeah, nearly the exact same times.
Noah's consistency disadvantage is not that start trick though. If he starts hitting it, then he will get 14-second times here, which might be trouble for Chris.
I do think Chris will
That's a
change
strong
his. I do think Chris will change his strategy starting now. Round 3.
Chris, I do believe that Chris said that if he hit 2 skip times, he would go for.
But he might want to lock in an average just to be certain.
Noah pauses, might be a redo.
Yeah. But
Looks
Chris.
like Chris is going for a third of this.
Chris looks super solid.
Amazing consistency from Chris. Wow.
Far better performance than even I did with all my practice. This is very impressive for how
Okay.
little time he got.
I still don't know what's happening to Noah.
Could be a
Okay.
He's asking for a redo. It's going to be a redo for that.
Yep. Okay, Noah's round 3 here.
If Noah
Chris
fails this
already-
redo, he's in deep trouble in this map.
Okay, Chris.
Chris already has a strong average.
Okay, we can count this as round 4, Chris, but just remember this is Noah's round 3. Both of them missed the house of 9. Noah's having huge struggles here.
Chris seemingly missed the message. We'll have his round 4 here. Looks like a sub skip was, but
Yeah,
his average is
69.
So good, it can't be a part of it.
Oh. I don't know if there's anything Noah can do. I'd imagine he's quite frustrated.
Oh, Noah just AFKs.
Yeah, Noah's probably going to make the
Maybe
argument
that Chris
that
did
Chris,
AFK.
that Chris threw him off there because he was expecting him to AFK. And it's up to you, John, but in my opinion, I think it's worth giving Noah a redo. But
His mistake, you know, came, you
it's not
know.
important, yeah. It's not important.
Bro, okay, we're just gonna give Noah a redo. I don't really understand why.
I don't really agree with this. I don't
Yeah, well, this, regardless, he still has to do a redo by himself, so this can be his round 4. But this is looking great here. He'll kind of put himself at a huge advantage over Chris with a 13-5.
tied tournament record. Wait,
I
I
think
so.
I think that's true.
Unless mine retimed to a 13-4, we'll see what this retimes to.
All right, round 5 here.
Noah's probably thinking that that was his round 3, but I don't think it is.
No, I
I
don't.
don't see you get redos for stuff like that. I don't.
Ooh.
Chris going for the pass and strat.
Chris
Oh!
takes his strategy but has a very quick
Oh.
but
I don't know if it's fast enough.
I don't think so. It's not fast.
No, wait. 15-3. Noah DNFs.
Noah unhappy. He clearly thought he.
Chris actually wins on IGT.
Could this come down to touches?
It definitely might, but I mean, there's a .233 gap in there, so I would seriously doubt
Yeah, I would
touches
assume
would.
Chris took that.
Yeah,
But that was really close and honestly a very interesting match on the Cove.
yeah. So likely 1-1 heading into map 3 here.
Are you good with the rounds, John?
No, I mean, I would still appreciate if you would, but
Okay.
I don't. Maybe if I miss them, you can fill them in for me. Because I don't know. It is-
I'm really good at that. I actually did get distracted on Cove there. 'Cause
It is
you
hard.
can't blame me for
Yeah.
Can't blame me for that because Cove was insane.
It is hard, and like putting it in general, like that's actually pretty inconvenient.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're an attorney host and you're focusing on like several different things at
Yeah.
once.
Like I do put them in.
Anyways, onto the mats here. This is Ancient Tomb, and personally, in my opinion, I just don't think Chris has it here.
No.
It is possible Noah could choke, but
Yeah.
again, this is like a map that I have Noah favored on. Probably
Yeah.
the most. Probably even more than Island Round.
Oh yeah, I
Chris
agree with
does
that for sure.
claim has consistently claimed that he is the second best Ancient Tomb player in the world. But not only is that claim under heavy scrutiny,
No, I would
but
believe
he's also
it.
playing against number 1 here.
Yeah. And
Well, Chris did lose this match against Nugglei in their last match in the tournament.
that is true by just .033.
And again, he's not looking the strongest in practice here.
Noah famously touched .52 minutes EDT record. Clearly a little bit above the rest on this map for the time being. I'm not sure how that translates to consistency in the tournament round. But
I mean, yeah, tournaments are a completely different game. But I do agree that Noah is, definitely favored on this map, but I mean, Ancient Tomb is one of the most volatile maps. It'll give Chris a chance if Noah just makes a couple dumb mistakes, which Chris is solid enough to capitalize on those.
Of course, oftentimes that volatility backfires on Chris and leads to his own loss.
Yeah, we did see Ancient Tomb be played last time Chris and Noah faced, and that actually did end with a Chris loss. But is this round 1 or practice 2?
Practice 2.
This is practice 2, yeah. I really wish Chris would unlock
I'm very
chat.
excited in high-level match so far. I really have been enjoying the match. And,
This
it's so
Chris's
fairly
chance is
unpredictable.
he's capable of keeping up with the lines, but
Oh,
Noah was for a moment there before that strange mistake.
see that
Chris isn't slow. He's not slow at all in this run.
Chris hasn't. I mean, Noah has notoriously struggled with the PDJ jump, in tournaments. I'm not sure why, but that jump has always been kind of risky for him right here.
Chris getting a 32-second time in practice. That should be...
And since practice early for a 42-9, decent showing, but possibly not the best
Yeah,
play here.
I don't think 32-9 is going to be enough against Noah Altensee.
And I was curious, so I checked, and Noah has a 4.5 to 0.5 record on Ancient Tomb. This is not someone you want to be up against on this map.
It is 4-0 because the .5 is coming from the empty draw on the spreadsheet. But
I will say, if my memory serves me correctly, the last time we saw Noah play Ancient Tomb in the match, I think it was with me in last tournament, and he did make 2 catastrophic mistakes the first 2 rounds. But he just won because I made even more mistakes.
I mean,
So he's capable of messing this up, and I don't even know if he practiced it that much.
he is looking
before this match.
pretty, not the most consistent in practice, but obviously practice and rounds are, pretty different. But I'd be a little worried if I were him.
Yeah.
That PDJ jump is not looking great.
One more note about statistics before we go on to round 1 of this map. Noah's worst map is actually Winter Cove, which has risen to 0 to 4 after the previous map against Chris right now.
That is crazy. Thank you for the statistics. But
Anyways, enough statistics. It's on to the real match.
yeah, round 1 here.
Chris, round 1 of the least consistent skipless maps in the game.
I think
And expect to see Noah pull ahead of Chris around movement, but again, this could come down to consistency. In
Yeah,
the similar way that Winter Cove did.
I think this is a similar story to Magma Cavern, where if Noah makes a couple of mistakes, Chris can capitalize. But for the time being, Noah is the favorite.
And we haven't considered the fact that Chris can also make mistakes and fall even further behind.
Well, yeah,
So
but
Start here with both of them, though.
Good from Chris.
yeah, Chris is.
Slightly behind Noah.
Oh, he's ahead of Noah.
Very good run from Chris. But he needs to get this ending down, which he can be inconsistent at sometimes. Like right here. Oh my goodness.
Chris is on a crazy run here. A 32-9.
Insane run from Chris.
32-9. Yeah, definitely some headlock for both of them. That looks like a 32-7, 33-8 almost.
But wow, for Chris's
That's
confidence,
exactly what Chris
great.
wants to see. Chris wants to be ahead here, wants to be finishing runs.
Maybe Chris actually is the second best 2 player.
Oh, I think he is for sure. Obviously, he lost to me in, our last match, but I do think Chris, on average, is better than me. But, round 2, here we'll see if he can replicate that. Noah 33-0 is very uncharacteristic for him.
Kind of pulling ahead. Wow.
Oh!
Oh, but big mistake here.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Chris. Luckily, Noah Altensee's not on the craziest run. Maybe 32-8 still, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the consistency is crazy. Definitely a 32-second time.
Oh, 32-7. Oh, wow. That run was just really, really solid, I think.
That's going to be tough for Chris to match, but he's still in it.
Oh, for sure.
That 32.9 from Chris was near his limits. Hopefully that was the cement leg on his part, where he might struggle to approach Noah's IDTs here.
Yeah, but
Round 3.
that mistake from Chris was a little worrying, to be honest, because that's not a super deadly spot, so
Yeah.
you need to eliminate those.
We're going to hope to want to see Chris bring back the momentum here.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it was. They're still both. Oh no. Chris is making.
Oh, no one makes a mistake, though. Chris is slightly ahead.
Little problems for Chris does not matter.
Will he get a good ending?
Oh, Chris, they're neck and neck.
Oh my goodness.
33-0 tie. They're not playing the fastest here.
Small mistakes. Noah, one big mistake.
Yeah.
Again, the same thing we saw in Magma, the big mistakes versus the small mistakes. The small mistakes are worse because they're harder to clean up. This could be a bad sign for Chris if these keep happening.
Round 4.
This is the closest match we've ever seen on an Ancient Tomb. Especially at this level, for sure. Very good performance from both of them. And let's hope I didn't jinx them.
Starve the chance to sort of rectify some of those earlier mistakes. Coming up to this jump.
Oh, Noah Altense makes another mistake.
It's not catastrophic, though. He's still close to Chris.
He needs to figure out his PDJ, though.
Oh,
Ooh, tighter ending from Noah there. Ooh. Much better, but Chris is still in it. And he doesn't do the steam.
Yeah,
That
he wasn't...
Really weird.
No, he wasn't lined up to do the steam, so I do understand not risking it.
Noah putting up impressive IDTs even with mistakes.
Yeah, Chris is gonna need a great run here, but it's not impossible for him to take this.
Absolutely not impossible, but Noah looks very strong.
Round 5.
This is Chris's last chance to put together something spectacular. And it's also Noah's chance to further pull ahead with these 37 IDTs they've been capable of this round.
Or might get another PDJ.
Noah already gleaning some time off the start alone.
No, his the PDJ clean.
Still on it.
Oh!
Chris makes a mistake.
Oh, Chris DNFs.
That might seal the deal.
Yeah, that will more than likely be Ancient
Noah's
Tomb.
finishing this out. This could be easily a 0.7.
32-8.
Looks like Noah is looking to be 2-1 now. As we head into the island round.
Yeah, map 4 here, island route.
This, in my opinion, is the most interesting map of this round between these two players.
I mean, these two have honestly been kind of notorious for not being the most consistent on island route.
I mean, so far I am the only player to ever beat Noah on Island Round in a tournament. Will this change this match? I'm not sure.
Oh my god, what is happening?
With a strange, mysterious death. Now, I would just like to point out that there is the divide on this map is these players are not even executing the map the same way. There is a skip in play. The smallest time save is any skip in the game, but it still saves a few frames.
And honestly, Chris is so solid at the skip that it basically just works like as an alternative route to what Noah's doing. Like, obviously it's still counted as skip, but in Chris's eyes, it's basically just a skipless route.
Yeah, I mean Noah just got a massive deep 0.3 touch today, so clearly he will be given the faster times, or at least he's capable of it. But he's also very capable of messing up, as he did against me in our tournament match. But again, this should be a different Noah. He should have practiced this match a little bit before Chris. But still, the nerves can get to him, and he could, mess up that ending slope there. which he's
It's
done
also worth
previously.
noting that during Chris's very limited practice time, Noah joined and spent all that time practicing with him.
Oh, see? I mean,
Oh,
no matter how solid you are at a map, you know, especially on Island Route, just mistakes like that can happen.
Would you count that as a DQ?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
but this is Noah, the best skip-was-EDP player on Island Route. Some of the cleanest lines I've seen on this map have come from Noah. And Chris's advantage is that he is the best at the M9, which means he can skip one of the more difficult parts of the map where you do have to do some precise turns, since he can just completely sidewind it with the M9 approach.
Practice 2 here.
Definitely a strategy he wants to hone in, since he is not planning to play a normal skip with here at all.
Just to respond to Mal here in general, I definitely was faster.
No, you weren't.
Anyways, practice 2 here. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, definitely that little bonk there probably messed up Chris's M9 timing pretty hard. That's
Both of them have their own little nightmares they could worry about, with Chris messing up the M9 out over nerves and Noah messing up the
Wow!
here. He's been doing in practice. It's just like it's an entirely different map for both of them in practice.
yeah.
In tournaments, I mean, because, you know, when they're grinding for a world record, they can be very consistent, but this is just a really sneaky map, and seems to be fucking up both of them, apparently. I think it really comes down to...
Oh, whoa!
Or will Chris hit the M9?
This is looking really interesting in practice. Like, oh, this is gonna be a great map here.
Both of them are honestly worried, because I think they both really need this map. Noah might win the match if he wins this.
Chris definitely saves time when he hits the M9 good, but Noah is just slightly better on most other turns of the map. Not enough to necessarily decide the match, but enough to put into question the effectiveness of the M9.
Alright.
But with all these mistakes that are popping up, it could be anyone's game going in here in the round 1.
Round 1 here. Chris's tournament is on the line more than likely here, so.
Noah will pull ahead with movement. That is definitely for certain. However, it really comes down to, will Chris hit the M9 or will Noah hit the slope at the end?
Yeah.
They both are very capable of messing it up in tournaments.
They both.
Here we go, round 1 here.
They both have shown kind of a little bit of consistency issues.
Chris needs to perform
What?
here or he is...
Chris probably gonna ask you redo. I'm not sure why.
I think he got some start
Flag
behind.
spike.
Yeah.
Flags.
All right.
Yeah, no, he did start behind very fast. So we're gonna hope that Noah will AFK next round.
Nonetheless, Noah's chance to show what he's capable of without any concerns of having to race against Chris here. No threat of him being on screen racing.
Oh!
Oh, but
Ooh! It's not catastrophic though, but definitely not ideal.
A 32-6 is, yeah, not great.
great for any player other than these top people.
So round one, Chris, no AFK.
Mhm.
Unlike Chris, who failed AFK, we're expecting that Noah here will. Yeah.
All right.
Chris is redo to go here.
Round 1 for Chris. Just seeing a 32-6 from Altensee is probably a good sign for his mentality.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he can beat that with ease, but will he hit the M9? Ooh, that was a great M9.
Last one too.
This could definitely
Here.
32-4 pace.
32-4.
Yeah.
Will he hit slope? I think he will.
Yeah, Chris is much better at the slope than Altensee. Not the perfect slope, but it will be much better.
Could be a 0.4.
Oh, a 32-6 at GT.
Very odd because
Maybe that slope was worse than we thought.
So remember, because Chris is Icy Avatar, he does just lose time based off acceleration from the start.
There are other points where you sometimes have to accelerate in order to
I
do
didn't
a
see
turn.
Chris get a lot of 0.4s in practice before this tournament match. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that was definitely some like there. Here we go, round 2 for both of them.
Round 2.
Chris did start a bit behind.
Yeah, but
It's definitely not like it was in previously, so we're good.
a large part of that probably is Icy Avatar as well.
Going ahead.
Ooh, that was not a fast M9 at all.
419. but it's significantly better than Dev. Better than Dev
Yeah.
for sure.
And Noah Altensee is going to hope that he can hit the slope here. Oh, he does.
Okay,
That's good.
great.
Noah definitely in like a 32-4 here. Yeah, 32-4. Chris, 32-8.
And that
Well, him
mistake,
hitting that might just win him the match.
that was better than Death. It may as well be Death because you cannot win graduating on your hammers in this kind of match.
Yeah.
Chris definitely wants to hit back their M9, gain more distance, and move further ahead
Longer
here.
than past him 9 here.
Round 3. Chris, I think another lag spike.
Not sure what's going on there. Another free shot, well not free, but another shot for Noah to prove that he can point forward.
Alright, so Chris will be getting a redo again. Obviously, not his fault. But oh, Noah hits the slope yet again.
Good.
Definitely a point four.
Yeah, 32-4.
Even with the redo, I don't see Chris. This is already terrible.
It looks like my prediction that I made pre-match is going exactly how I thought.
Chris,
Taking the naps, I thought he would. Chris taking the undercoat.
Chris needs to perform here.
R3 for Chris right here.
It's not the first time that Chris's M9 strategy has fallen short against Noah's skipless consistency.
That's
He's
true.
hoping not to repeat history here, but it's already looking dire. He needs to hit a 32 or better here.
Oh, wow.
And this is
Great M9 again. Let's not forget, last time we saw an M9 of this caliber, it still finished at 32-6.
However, I will say if Noah's .4s were .3 touches, Chris is definitely in massive trouble here.
Oh, not the fastest slope.
There is something I noticed with Chris's lines here. Oh no.
Another 32-6.
Round 4 for both of them, right?
Yep.
There's these small details that Chris isn't getting right that I noticed Noah may be doing better. Such as like optimizing the sometime after the M9 and the part, there's this downslope. Noah jumps onto the end of it and onto the upslope, but Chris walks down the downslope before jumping. It's stuff like that that can just kill you in the long run.
Yeah.
Another lag
Oh my
spike.
god. This lag spike is killing us, bro.
Yeah. But, you know, as a host, like, what can you do about it?
Exactly.
We'll obviously get a redo.
Here. Noah jumps at the end of that to minimize his time on that downslope there. He's on pace to finish out an average of .4s. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh. He
Chris-
sharpened up on that slope.
Chris is saying he's getting a ton of end lag. Ooh, a 32-6 for Noah Altensee.
That had to be end lag.
Oh, yeah, but...
We'll probably be getting a few like, what the hell?
Definitely.
You're
Definitely.
playing Chris.
Matt said we're gonna need to see touches before you can come to any conclusions.
Yeah. I think we will... I mean, obviously...
Chris is
we'll...
fine. I don't think any of us are mad at Chris. Is
Yeah. No, it's...
after maybe Noah.
Yeah. I do think we will have to check Magma Cavern as well. Obviously, Noah could be under maybe a little bit of DQ scrutiny. I don't know what was happening, you know, on that big turn, but... Oh, Chris hits
Oh,
that
God.
super clean again.
Chris is still in this, man.
Oh, for
It
sure.
just comes down to how
But Chris,
strong his wing
you
edge
see what I
was.
mean? He just jumps earlier on that part, took a bit of downslope. Still a very good run though.
I don't... I think it's his slope. He just loses quite a bit of time on the slope.
Yeah, not the fastest slope, man.
32-6 IGT yet again.
He thinks these are end lag, but I don't think they're .4s.
I do think they are .4s, but I'm not... Obviously, can't know until we check.
I mean, against me, he got a run that looked worse than all those, and he got a .5 IGT.
All right, round 5.
Racing penalty might be causing problems on the inside jump.
Chris is saying in general that most of those were .4 touches, if you had to guess.
But like I said, even though that's very good for Chris, if Noah touched a .3 here, I think that could seal the deal.
Finally, they get to play at the same time again. It looks like no redos here.
Yet.
Coming up to the M9.
Chris misses!
Ooh.
Oh, that is crucial.
That's it for our route.
Yeah.
This is probably Noah's another chance to lock in a .4 here.
But I will say, if he doesn't get a clean slope here, it's not going to be the greatest average. But, oh, wow. Yeah, definitely 32.4.
This could be a .3 touch.
32.5 IGT. Yeah, that didn't look like a .3 run. Alright. Well, we will now be heading on to map 5.
That's the value here.
Not necessarily favoring Chris. Noah is a former record holder on a previous route of the map.
Yeah, obviously, the last time we saw Chris versus Noah, Noah actually did take Paso Valley due to, weird chokes from Chris. So, he does have a bit of history on this map.
Well, mostly due to low IQ moments from Chris.
Yeah.
Like not finishing a skip run for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both of them are at risk here. Noah never seemed to be the most consistent at that rock M9. And Chris has a really odd way of getting up that tree, which does make him susceptible to flicks. And he can actually get a DQ against Noah in their match. So, this is a toss-up here, but I did actually predict Chris to win this match.
I do as well. I just think he's super consistent, and Noah has kind of been struggling with this route recently.
Especially that M9. He just doesn't have the best approach for it.
Oh, but Chris on the tree M9 not necessarily hitting it as often as he'd like to.
Honestly, neither is Noah, though, I'd say. Chris is much better. Chris is much better at the second M9.
Neither of their approaches on this. But I think that Chris is definitely favoring consistency, whereas Noah's favoring a different, a faster time.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, I don't see that edge hit as part of his plan. I think that was the swing he did.
Yeah.
Noah does usually go for the pole jump, which he's surprisingly consistent at. However, he can still very well L it. Well, honestly, I'm not even mad at that edge hit. That's actually kind of looks fast. But again, that first rock is just not looking good, especially compared to Chris's.
Oh, Chris is throwing some shade in general.
It looks like that. It looks like that S hit might be part of his general strategy and not a one-off thing like I thought it was.
Practice 2 here.
Considering the M9, the acceleration penalty, it is comparable to the points, but I don't necessarily see the point in it.
Practice 2.
Again, faster from Chris from the start.
No, Altensee is going for that edge hit, but it's definitely slower than just taking the board, so.
But it's more consistent.
Is it? Than just not doing any strat there at all? I don't think it is.
It's more consistent than the pole jump that he used.
Yeah, but
That is true.
it is.
But I don't think it's worth it.
It is faster. Just go on these boards and just take this. Oh.
I would just go on the board if I know it, but he doesn't like to do that. Honestly, Chris might take this match just because of consistency.
Yeah. I do favor Chris pretty heavily right now.
I'm not sure if they'll get 3 runs without any failed M9s though.
Yeah, but I think maybe Chris's recovery is slightly better than Noah's.
Doesn't get it, but it looks like Noah is considering the pole jump as in his arsenal.
Noah, when Noah does hit the first M9, he definitely has a faster tree, but Chris is like a lot more consistent than Noah at the M9 here. First M9. So yeah, it looks like Chris is the favorite opponent on this match.
Oh, Chris is making weird end mistakes. The only part that Noah plays significantly better is climbing up this first tree.
Yeah, I don't know why Chris does it like that, man. It's not that. That wasn't terrible, but still.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
It's higher flick rates, slower and less consistent, but whatever floats his boat. But we are now heading on to round 1, so more on the line than whatever floats his boat.
Yeah.
Good luck to both of them. But I think Chris
somehow tied Noah on Magma or Doom based on Endgame.
Yeah, we will have to examine touches for sure after this match, but Chris does need this map to win. Oh, it's already looking nice for him. Oh, but he misses the tree. They're both missing the tree. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that is just terrible. You should not miss that at all if you're Chris.
neither of these runs are beating skipless.
No.
And as you can see, that as it is comparable, but I think it's just not.
It's just not faster in my opinion.
I don't.
No, it's not faster. I've tried it. Just a 0.2 difference there. 28-29.
Hopefully they don't have to rely on either of these runs for their average.
And I do think Noah Altensee, if he gets another run like that, I think Noah could, switch to like a skipless run. I don't know. I was thinking about that a little bit. Pre-match. Round 2 here though.
I don't like that idea. Here we go. Will they both hit for
Oh, Chris is super strong at this tree, but he misses. Noah makes.
How does he fail that? How does he fail that? That's so consistent for me. I'm sorry.
He gets the
Little bit of a me statement there from Mal.
on the wrong part of the tree there. That's why he didn't get in the fight.
A 20.9 for Noah. Obviously strong, but
He's in a lot of trouble.
Chris is not out. Chris is not in the woods yet. It's definitely still possible for him to come back on this next run.
A single mistake will have him counting a mistake.
Yeah, though, he needs to get runs now. Like he has no margin for error, whereas Noah has obviously one great run of error. All right, round 3 here. Chris has made the first M9 both tries. Ooh, it's slow from Chris.
This is already game over.
Oh my gosh,
Puphead.
it's over.
Over, man.
It's over.
Chris gives up. Noah asks for a redo.
Yeah.
Chris clearly doesn't even want to play anymore. Might just quit. Even though I wouldn't recommend that.
I mean, he really should have practiced more for this.
Mm-hmm.
He honestly didn't even practice all that much today. He said that he got distracted by some girl and he just kind of overlooked practice and then only practiced for like 20 minutes against Noah, and that clearly wasn't the best strategy. Aside from Pastel, Chris was very strong on the other maps. He should not be discouraged. He had a very nice showing on Tomb, especially on
Chris
Cove
might
as
just
well.
round out a redo.
Chris
here. Chris, try this.
says he low-key lagged at the start. I'll give.
It could be what caused him to crash into the fence. Could be what caused him. I don't.
Okay, I'll just give a redo just to be sure, but I'll decide. We'll make a decision on whether to count the redo or not after.
Both players redo here.
Mm-hmm.
As if that round never happened. One more chance to not have that fatal mistake. That terrible rock.
But obviously, if something happens to Chris again.
Something
Oh!
happens to Chris again. He just can't.
But Noah has still obviously got a 20.9, but Noah is still, he's not looking the strongest here.
At least Chris hit that second M9.
Yeah.
That's what really killed his earlier rounds.
This will still be sub-skipless barely, I believe. Tie skipless, but Noah Altensee has decided to maybe take a skipless round. Which I don't think it's
if he needs one to skip his average, yeah, but still.
I don't think it's a terrible app.
You do not want to up skipless.
Yeah, this
Given
is
the consistency of both players, this isn't a horrible play by any means. That was round 3.
yes.
Yeah, it was round 4 next. And Chris cannot afford another mistake.
Noah has 2 rounds and a comfortable 20.9 sitting with him. Chris is the one on the back foot here.
No, I mean Noah honestly isn't in the greatest position himself. 72.
I definitely favored over Chris's for sure.
For sure, but it's honestly not too big of a difference other than that 20.9, which Chris has attempts to, make. Noah Altensee's gonna go for skipless.
Noah's looking for a 25 here, so Chris wants to hit a run like Noah's 20.9, potentially offset his advantage here.
Chris has it, but I just don't know if I favor his consistency.
Ah!
Oh, that.
Ah!
Still in. Oh.
It's still sub Noah. It's still sub Noah. But he's running out of time.
Massive gap here.
If Chris hits a strong round 5, he is still completely in this.
I just don't know if
Noah
if he
might
will,
switch
though.
back to skip.
Oh, a 25-3
this
from
is tense.
Noah.
Really tense back. Really tense on to round 3.
Yeah, this is gonna come down to round 5.
Oh my goodness.
Chris only needs like a solid 25 if Noah makes a mistake. So Chris does not need anything crazy at all.
But Noah's going skipless again.
I would not do that if I were him. Chris just needs a solid run. Oh!
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 That might... No!
No!
That's it.
Oh! Oh! Oh no! It's over!
That's
It's
really upsetting.
over.
That's a terrible way to go out. Flicking off that
We
tree.
really should have practiced fast up more, because that was his nap.
Oh no. Chris
Noah's finishes his run.
loses to a 25-second average. Actually, no, it's a little faster than that, but still 23.8. Oh, that's such an unfortunate ending, though.
Noah definitely taking this map. This round.
Yeah. I mean, no, Altensee more than likely took the win here, but I mean, we could see something interesting on Magma. Could see something interesting on Island, or
Yeah, possibly, but he just had the higher IQ play.
Yeah.
I mean, again, honestly, that was kind of another low IQ play from Pitzer, because he really definitely did overlook Pastel Valley in practice. And he should have recognized that his approach on that tree is just not optimal and is susceptible to clicking.
yeah.
So it's just...
It's unfortunate that, you know, it had to happen in round 5 with the match on the line. But, yeah. I mean,
That was a really good match.
yeah, that was a great match.
But I love that match. I especially loved watching Cove and Tomb.
hmm
But Chris has shown that he's getting a little bit better at turnies, especially at some maps that he's previously messed up on, like Cove and Tomb. So
Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching.
Always is the stronger journey player overall.
Yeah.
And honestly, the higher IQ player as well.
Yeah. Alright.
Chris down again. Padilla out. Thank you all for watching.
Peace.
Yeah, good match.